Morning, top of the morning to y'all good people, man. Your favorite cousin checking in, Young Jock, Miss Shaw, Nigga, and Shouter, man. Look here, dog. We wouldn't be Streetz Morning Takeover. We went out here in these streets with the real ones. In the building this morning, we got a very lovely lady in the building. Ladies and gentlemen. Okay, all right. We got a badass, beautiful ass Ella May in the building. What up, Ella May?
Hi, how are you?
I'm good. What's
happening?
Good morning. How's everyone feeling?
We are
Blessed.
great.
I'm feeling wonderful. I know it ain't that good, but I'm working on it.
It's terrible.
It is. Yeah. At least I know. Now, if I try to keep going and you're like, bro, just chill. Then.
No, yeah.
It's been a long time.
It has.
Since we saw each other
how
last.
long ago? 4, 5?
Wow.
4. Yeah.
No, you definitely.
It's been that
Definitely
long?
before the pandemic.
Definitely before the pandemic.
Wow.
I gotta say at least 4 years almost.
Because my debut album is 4 years old this year, yeah. So it must have been around.
So we gotta just start this interview off like that, man.
Mhm.
4 years.
Do you
Hello
treat
again.
do you treat them like babies?
My album?
Yes.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
what's
I
sad,
definitely like my debut album, I feel like I was a lot younger, I was a lot more naive. Like I was just coming into the industry. I didn't know anything. So I was just like super excited and really happy to just like obviously with the success of Boot Up and the success of Trip, like I was just really, really happy. And not that I'm not really, really happy now because I am, but I think now that I know a little bit more, and I really just kind of wanted to take my time with this album, Heart on My Sleeve, and make sure I was, delivering quality R&B as opposed to just putting stuff out there just to be out there. If that makes sense.
Okay. Go ahead, Sonny.
How did the pandemic affect your growth as an artist?
You know what? I feel like it helped me. Like I think being able to just really, really focus on my album and not being able to kind of like be everywhere or and I don't really go outside that much anyway, so not that would have made a difference, but I think I was just able to really, really focus. Luckily it didn't harm me like creatively at all. I was just able to put my thoughts in one place and make this album as opposed to like not knowing what was going on and being here and being there, and like it was good for me.
Now let me ask you a question. Anywhere do you ever feel the pressure along the way coming up on your sophomore project? Did you feel any pressure along the lines of the thought of the sophomore jinx?
100%.
Yeah?
Yeah, I'd be lying if I said I didn't. I feel like any artist, I think, especially coming off the back of such a successful debut, I 100%, there was a point in my recording process where I was just overthinking everything. Like I was just like, I don't know what I want to say. I don't know what I want to sound like. Do I need to still sound like this? Do I not? Like it's quite a hard thing to figure out, as well as figuring out like what you want to say, or who you want to work with, or just a bunch of stuff. So yeah, I definitely was in that space, but it was only a short period of time. I think I sat down with Mustard and told him like my concerns, and he was like, look, nothing changes. Just go in there and
continue.
Yeah, do exactly what you do every time, and we'll figure it out once we get to the stage where we have, enough material. And that's exactly what we did. So
Wow.
So I got a question. Because you sound very well thought out. I've listened to you. I've seen you. You're very well thought out. Is it ever a point when you're listening back to your records, to the body of work, and you're trying to pick? Do some of those records, like just last week, this was your favorite record. Then this week you recorded 2 new and you're like, no, just scratch everything. This is what I want to start with. Does that happen to you?
100%. That happened to me multiple times in this process. Like literally just being in, and obviously as artists, as you know, like we're really sensitive and really attached to our stuff. So you can make something this week and that could be what you're feeling this week and you really love it. And next week that might not be what you're feeling. So it doesn't really hit as hard. Doesn't mean it's a bad song,
right?
But just you going kind of through the motions of making a whole bunch of different music, that definitely happens. But I think there's always standout ones that stick regardless of whether you still feel like that or not.
Yeah.
Those are the ones that kind of really, I feel like, push through.
I'm ready for it. Heart on my sleeve.
Yes.
This is it.
This is
the
it.
sophomore project from Ella May.
Yes.
It's been 4 years since we last spoke. As far as interview goes, right? A lot of time is come in between. How has Ella May grown since the debut project?
It's a great question. I think just in terms of in every way, I think actually I've grown. I think I was a lot more conscious of like instrumentation on this album. I wanted to use a lot more live stuff. as opposed to just like doing stuff to loops or beats. Like a lot of stuff we made from scratch in the studio, which was a whole different experience for me. So that was really fun. Vocally, I pushed myself. I worked really hard on like my backgrounds and my harmonies, because I'm a big, obviously, 90s R&B fan, and I think harmonies and backgrounds from the 90s and early 2000s are unmatched. So I really wanted to try and like, you know, embody that and kind of give homage to, or pay homage, sorry, to the people that I grew up listening to. And then just as a woman, I think, like I said, I was 23 when I dropped my debut album, about to be 24, and now I'm 27. So I think just in those years, I know, wow. In those years, I've just grown a lot as a woman anyway. So just putting all of that stuff together. And again, like I said to you, being a little bit more sure of what I want to say and who I am as an artist, like in comparison to what I was on my debut album when I was kind of just figuring it out. And not saying that I got it figured out, because I have a lot more music to make and a lot more growing to do. But I'm actually very happy in the space that I'm in right now.
If Solid was a person, she's sitting right here next to me, man.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
Good music, good vibes as always. LMA, I must tell you, please let us know when you start the next tour.
I will.
I definitely want to. Cause you know what? It's interesting. It's one thing to catch people when they come to your town, your city. That's cool. That's fun, right? I'm maturing. I'm doing things a little differently now. Me and my wife, we want to get away. So when you out somewhere, even if it's out the country, let us know, man. We want to come support you wherever, man. We love your music.
Thank you.
Very excited to see this next phase of LMA, man.
Yes.
Thank you. I appreciate you guys. Thank you for having me.
For sure.
No doubt. No doubt.